Coming up next on Headline Humboldt, we chat with Tracey Barns-Priestley, host of the KEET show, What's on Your Bucket List? In the wake of COVID-19, we've all learned to cherish what matters most in our lives. Watching the guests on this local program, we learned why those choices matter. Also, Auditor Controller Karen Paz-Dominguez stormed the Board of Supervisors meeting this week with an onslaught of accusations against county officials that she says explains why the county's financial reports are running so far behind. Coming up now on Headline Humboldt. Live from the top of Humboldt Hill, this is Headline Humboldt. I'm James Falk. Thanks for joining us. If you've been watching KEET this week, you realize it's pledge season. It's the time of year when we throw our regular schedule out the window and instead feature amazing programs and specials to remind everyone what a resource public television is in our community. So please, if you enjoy our coverage here on Headline Humboldt, all the conversations and perspective we offer on the issues that matter to you, call the pledge number on your screen and become a member today. If you're already a member, please consider upping your monthly gift. Tonight, we're thrilled to talk about living a full life, a topic especially important now that we've struggled with COVID these last 2 years and learned how quickly all our lives can change. Our guest tonight, Tracey Barns-Priestley, is a friend of the station and host of the program What's on Your Bucket List. As host, she helps people achieve lifelong goals and so live their life to the fullest. This fantastic program is just now entering production for Season 2, and we're thrilled to have her on the show to talk about last season's highlights, where Season 2 will take us, and the value of embracing your dreams. We'll also cover the recent accusations made against county departments, employees, and supervisors by Humboldt County Auditor Controller Karen Paz-Dominguez. After months of controversy surrounding missed audit deadlines, payroll delays, lack of communication, and other issues, Paz-Dominguez faced the Board of Supervisors this week and let loose a barrage of claims that included serious financial mismanagement, mishandled record-keeping, and outright abuse. The named departments include the Sheriff's Office, the County Administrative Office, the Community Development Services Department, and others. Her claims come as the State Attorney General's office threatens legal action against the county for failing to meet state auditing requirements. We'll hear from her board testimony and also show you the reaction from other county officials. First, though, the interview. I'm thrilled to welcome Tracey Barns-Priestley to the show. Welcome, Tracey.
Thank you, James. I'm happy to be here.
Good. I mentioned to you before the show that the positivity of this program is striking, especially in the age of COVID. Can you describe for us briefly what the program What's on Your Bucket List is about and how it came to be?
Well, the concept is really it's very straightforward, and it's one that's been around in our culture for quite a while. What's on your bucket list? You know, its original idea was, what are you going to do before you kick the bucket? But that has certainly been extended now to all ages throughout the country, all over. Mm-hmm. But what we decided to do, this was a joint effort with Sam Green, who's one of your producers. He's just an all-around good guy.
The legendary Sam Green. Yes.
Yeah. We thought, let's keep it local. Let's make dreams come true right here in Humboldt County. And it really fit in with my background. I'm a retired therapist, and the last 15 years or so of my career, I focused on aging issues. And there's some really kind of funky things that happen the older and older you get. And I turned 70 last fall. And the last thing I thought I would ever be doing would be hosting and producing a PBS television show, but I'm having a ball. And I think what was so exciting for me is the process of getting to share all of these different activities with so many wonderful people. We had a ball. It was great. And so I'm really happy to be back for Season 2.
Now, so the people that you're working with on the show, are they people with fatal diseases, or are they just normal folks?
No, they are just anybody. The only requirement, I say, you have to be over 60. Okay. And actually, the unofficial requirement is you have to be willing to have fun. That's the only thing I ask of people. If an applicant has any kind of physical limitations or disability, we will try to make it work for people. Or sometimes it's just age, your body slows down and you can't do quite as much. On Season 1, we took an 82-year-old woman to Fern Canyon for the very first time.
Wow.
and with this wonderful naturalist, and we just sauntered. It was a nice leisurely long walk. But she got to see it, and she had never seen it in all her years. So we will work with anybody, whatever their circumstances are. And it's important to note that it's at no cost to the participants. This is all financed through both KEET and then all of the organizations and agencies and businesses that help us pull this off. So this is a fun, free thing for people over 60.
Now, you mentioned the trip to Fern Canyon. What are the kinds of things that people decided they wanted to put on their bucket list?
Oh, I think what's on the screen now, we had a woman who worked with Native American education throughout her entire teaching career. She wanted to see what the Clark Museum kind of kept upstairs and out of public view. A woman wanted to learn blacksmithing. We took another woman horseback riding on the beach.
That's awesome.
A gentleman wanted to do Special Olympics coaching. He'd always wanted to get involved with that program. Another woman, let me think, wanted to get back to playing her flute. I mean, people were all over the place in their ideas and activities. And that's part of what made it so fun to participate in it, because we all got to go along for everything that was happening.
Yeah,
and
for
sure. There were a couple of things we couldn't do, in terms that we couldn't get the Coast Guard to take a man out during a storm in the Coast Guard cutter over the bar to do training. That was not something. So we do have to draw a few lines, but at this point I say if you've got an idea, apply, and we'll see if we can make it happen.
So now about that application process, you mentioned that there is an application on KEET to me earlier. People can just go there and fill out the application and come up with 3 ideas, right?
Yep, it's all online. It's a very simple, straightforward application, and I'm asking for 3 different ideas because, we might not be able to do 1 or 2, but maybe we can get to 3. And I want to know a little bit about why people haven't been able to do it. Is it finances, or is it maybe you're alone now? You don't have a partner to go try adventures with, or maybe you just don't know how in the world to get a tour of that was one of the fun ones, Eagle House, the old Eagle House. We did a ghost tour of that.
Nice.
And this woman had really, really was fascinated, but didn't know anything. She just heard that it had ghosts. So that's our job. That's what we do. We set it all up. So you fill out this very simple 2-page form, click the button, submit. And then I was just pulling applications off this afternoon, going through them, and we're getting some, great ideas, James. This is going to be a fun
and you mentioned that if people are computer, not computer savvy, they can call the number 445-0813, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we'll get you a hard copy that you can mail back to us. Because not everybody, Zoom has been great. It's brought a lot of people of my generation and older into technology because it's the way we're now all connecting. Yeah. But if that is something that you don't want to mess with, feel free to call the station and we'll get you a copy of that.
And once again, that's 445-0813. This is sort of a confluence of circumstances. This show comes out, and obviously we're, sort of in the midst of COVID. Don't you think that there's a little bit of a synchronicity there? I mean, about people embracing what is important in life and choosing to do the things that maybe they put off for a long time?
Well, I think that's a really good point. And the irony is the first season, we had shot all of the episodes. Everything was done. And we were just going to start the editing process when COVID hit. Yeah. And my producing partner and I, and she was 75, and she and I couldn't get to the studio to edit. And so we taught ourselves this rudimentary process using Google Meet, and thanks to Sam Green. So between the 3 of us, and at one point I thought, are we being really silly? Is this like the height of the pandemic when we were going live? And I thought, is it going to backfire? And to your point, James, it had exactly the effect of something like, yes, time is short. We're not going to be in this pandemic forever. Once I get some freedom back, I'm going to start doing what I've always wanted to do. Yeah. So it actually had the desired effect for me, because I have to tell you, I don't know how old you are, but there's so many myths surrounding aging, and people start to believe them. People start to believe, oh, I can't do that, or I shouldn't do that, or, oh, well, people will laugh if I do that. And that became sort of my rallying cry. It's like, no, it really is a number. Age is a number. And COVID has shown us that being so bound in by circumstance that if you're not going to do it now, then when are you going to do it?
Absolutely.
I'm a real believer.
In the last couple of minutes that we have, COVID in particular, I think, isolated people who are, aging, for lack of a better term.
Yes.
What do you think people can do in their normal lives to sort of achieve the lessons that are offered by what's on your bucket list? How do you think people who have been, isolated and alone these past 2 years, and now that we're coming out of it, what can they do to sort of achieve that well-being that allows them to live their lives as they choose?
Yeah, I think, a couple of things come to mind. One is, I want to be real clear about this particular production because we're going by all the COVID protocols, because especially my age group. So everything's going to be very, very safe and all that's in place. But I do think that we kind of have to get out from our own way. And the Ollie program, which is one of our sponsors for What's on Your Bucket List, they're fantastic in terms of different classes. And it's a wonderful way to meet people. It's a wonderful way to try new skills. I really encourage people to stop listening to that voice that says they can't do something, and really switch it around and say, well, of course I'm scared. I'm a little nervous. I'm shy. I may be all these things. But when you look at the alternative, which is just this kind of monotone life that maybe is full of isolation, I think it's worth taking the risk sometimes. One of the things I started through Ollie is a Friday morning. We're still meeting 2 years in. We still meet every Friday morning for an hour. And it's just this bunch of people that got together and wanted to connect. And I've seen them try all kinds of new things that you still have options. We're so lucky in Humboldt County, even with COVID, you can go to the beach, you can go bird watching, you can try so many different trails. You can, there's plenty of opportunities if people kind of get out of their own way.
Yep. Now I have to ask, what's on your bucket list? Has this show sharpened some of the things that maybe you've put off that you'd like to try?
Well, I'm really anxious to get traveling again. My husband and I were just talking about, we want to get back. I really want to get back to Japan. We had an incredible trip to Japan before the pandemic. I've always been one of these people. I'm really fortunate. I don't have a huge bucket list. This show actually is kind of my bucket list. Oh. It was me. I mean, I didn't.
That's meta. Like you have a show about a bucket list where you accomplish your bucket list.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I had no background in production or editing or hosting television. And I just thought, wouldn't it be fantastic to bring all these elements together? And why not? It's that same thing that I'm asking of other people. I use for myself. Of course I'm scared, and of course I'm nervous. And, you can ask anybody at KEET. I've made some real boo-boos, but look what I get. Look what I get in exchange.
Well, Tracey, we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming on the show and for helping people. I love what you're doing.
Thank you, James. It's a pleasure. Glad to have you. Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. Humboldt County goes into next week without a full-time public health officer, though 2 area doctors will bridge the interim gap. At this week's COVID press conference, Ian Hoffman gives his last remarks as the county's top doc. KEET contributor Ryan Hudson has the story.
As the county winds down from regulations to recommendations for COVID-19 measures, Public Health Officer Dr. Ian Hoffman bid farewell to the local public health response this week.
Yeah, it's been quite a 15 months. It's certainly been a community-wide effort that has allowed us to maintain and achieve a low death rate here in Humboldt County due to COVID-19, low hospitalizations, and a high vaccination rate. So it's been an effort that has taken all parts of our community, and I think it's been quite successful. Now that we're really coming to the other side of the pandemic and are approaching, hopefully soon, an endemic phase, we are going to be phasing out more and more requirements.
This week being Hoffman's last press conference with local media, I wanted an exit interview, and specifically what mistakes he felt were made in the county's response and what could have been done better. Hindsight being 2020, and Dr. Hoffman, I know you've got one foot out the door here, so I'm hoping you can give us a little bit of perspective looking back on any mistakes that you feel were made or any improvements that someone coming into your position can make.
The numbers speak for themselves. We've done really well. We always want to look and see, could we have done it better? And we will, part of any emergency response is an after action review, which, has been hotly debated in public health over the last even, 3, 4, 6 months. When do we do our after action review? Are we there yet? We're never going to get it perfect, but I think we got it really right. And that's important. And again, the numbers show that. These were tough decisions. CDC having to make a decision about masking in the early days of March 2020. I don't, personally, I didn't agree with them at first, but I don't know all the details of why they made those decisions. Where there have been, minor things that have happened that have made it difficult for us in the response. But again, it's all Monday morning quarterbacking. And in the end, I think the response has been going really well, especially in our county and in our state. We've led really the nation in pandemic response and to a certain degree, the world with successes. So, we can certainly always continue to look for how we could have done it better. But there's very, very few things I think were, mistakes along the way. There were just difficult situations that had difficult answers to them.
Ryan Hudson for Headline Humboldt.
It was an astounding scene in the Humboldt County Board of Supervisors chambers this week when embattled Auditor Controller Karen Paz-Dominguez confronted the board with a long list of alleged financial improprieties and other issues that she says have prevented her from turning in state-mandated audits and reports. Her testimony comes as the State Attorney General's office recently sent her department a letter threatening legal action against her and the county for failing to submit a long overdue financial transactions report. Tensions between her office and other departments within county government have been building for months, as the delay in turning in the county's single audit has threatened county funding. In addition, other department heads have claimed that the auditor has not responded to repeated attempts to communicate issues and see them resolved. Her report Tuesday made a host of accusations against several departments, but so far, no supporting material has been released.
With regard to assets, I've identified challenges to reconcile cash equivalents like gift cards and bus passes, accounts receivable, investments, capital assets, and prepaid expenditures. Of all the challenges the AC team faced with reconciling assets in general, I have selected the following specific examples as they are the most significant. When we reviewed DHHS, we learned that petty cash is not regularly reconciled. When we inquired and requested receipts for the petty cash boxes, we were informed of an instance where cash had been accidentally destroyed by an employee. We learned of stolen cash and theft of other items that was reported to the police, but not reported to the Auditor Controller for recordation in the general ledger. Cash equivalents, gift cards, were given to employees as travel advances and not reported to the Auditor Controller. We learned that reconciliation of outside bank accounts were not performed or submitted to the Auditor Controller, and advance payments that were made to vendors were not reconciled. When we reviewed the Sheriff Department, we learned that cash had been deposited of sources unknown. We learned that the county had made payments for a donated vehicle, and that a previously disposed vehicle resurfaced for sale. When we reviewed the CAO department, We learned that outside investment accounts were not reconciled or recorded in the general ledger, and that bank statements of those outside bank accounts were not submitted to the Auditor Controller timely or at all. Though I will note they are now beginning to send them in a little bit more regularly. And through one of the divisions of the CAO department, we learned that there had been an unauthorized loan write-off. With regard to the Planning and Building Department, we learned that sources of cash deposited were not reported to the Auditor Controller, so we were not able to provide it to our external auditors when they requested it of us. Cash counts were not reported to the Auditor Controller, but I will note that this county did not have a policy until recently to make that a requirement. We also learned that there was a write-off of a home loan that was not authorized. I do want to note here that the Planning and Building Director has been communicative with our office since learning of this, and they have been responsive and willing to coordinate and collaborate with our office to fix these issues.
An emotional County Administrative Officer, Alicia Hayes, responded to the auditor's claims by saying many of these issues have been known to the county for some time and that efforts to see them addressed were rebuked by Paz Dominguez despite repeated attempts. She was also careful to distinguish employee mistakes from the commission of so-called fraud.
My office was just wrung through the mud like no other, as was DHHS and the sheriff. So I feel compelled to speak somewhat to that, and I agree with you, Supervisor Wilson, that this is not the time to address everything that has been brought up. I'll also say not one thing mentioned here was new to me. We have talked about this. We've been talking about these things for years. Every staff member who's sitting in this office or in this audience today has tried to communicate with the Auditor Controller's office to rectify all of these challenges. I have never once heard staff say that they were not interested in improving processes. What I continue to hear time and time and time again from our agency and from our partner agencies and from external vendors is a lack of communication. And when we can't come to a table, when we have to come before your board to discuss these critical functions of our agency, we fall into disarray and dysfunction. And that is where you find us today. The problem is critical tasks are not being completed, and there is no accountability on behalf of the auditor controllers to take responsibility for those functions. I, as a department head, when I fail you and I don't meet deadlines, I don't throw my staff under the bus. I don't throw other departments under the bus. I take accountability for my role in not ensuring that those tasks were completed. She has mandates that are not being met. She has not met her mandates for years. This includes interest apportionment, cash reconciliations, completing the external audits, and the list goes on and on. These are vital functions that your board and my office need to effectively manage a $500 million organization, and that work is not being done, and staff are being inhibited. I want to just define the word fraud because it continues to come up, and there is a difference between fraud and a mistake, and staff make mistakes without a doubt. I make mistakes every single day. My staff make mistakes every single day. Departments make mistakes every single day. Fraud is the wrongful or criminal deception intended to result in financial or personal gain. That is fraud. This word continues to be thrown out in an accusatory fashion towards your staff, and it's tearing their morale down, and they are unhappy being here and working here knowing that this is a constant accusation placed before them. We have had report after report after report completed to determine if there was in fact fraud taking place, and we have not found one single instance.
Department heads responded with vehement defenses of their agency's work and explained that many of the issues mentioned were old and already known to relevant officials.
Today was the first that I have heard of any of the accusations against the sheriff's office. With an outside audit, usually the auditor will come in and we'll have a discovery, we'll interview, we'll ask questions, and we did not get that respected all. You know, honestly, my leadership has been 3.5 years. I started about the same time that our Auditor Controller did, and I inherited a department, and we are finding errors, and we are constantly trying to fix those errors.
I want to clarify one thing that the Auditor Controller did correctly identify, is that we improperly reconveyed a loan, and that was a mistake. It was not related to anybody in the department, nobody's friend, it was no benefit, it was a stupid mistake, $19,600. Keeping in context, the loan portfolio is $22 million. That represents a 0.0001 error rate. I did hear something new today that we've not heard before, is that there's problems with our cash, the sources of the cash. We've not heard that before. Today was the first time. We have receipts for all the cash that comes in, all the cash that we deposit, everything is tracked. And so I too am willing to sit down, open the books, open the receipts, open everything we've got to demonstrate that there has been a clear flow and accountability of that cash.
It actually happened so long ago that one of them I even had forgotten about, because we had found a solution when it happened, and that was around the incident report and the petty cash that was stolen, and law enforcement was called. There was an incident report done, and the incident report wasn't immediately given to the auditor, and we discussed that back 3 years ago or so, and found a solution to report when those kind of things happen. But I did want to note the behavioral health issue. It is not a lawsuit. We are one of many counties that are going through the closeout process for behavioral health.
I feel like the Auditor Controller's report kind of blindsided everyone today. No response from anybody in your office, and I know they follow your direction, but it's very disheartening when I'm trying to get my job done. There's been millions of dollars of interest that have accrued over the last couple of years in the Treasury pool, but we cannot apportion that interest. And I'm not getting answers. So I'll leave it at that. Again, I wish you success, Karen, but the way you're going about it just boggles my mind.
Public Works Director Tom Matson responded to the accusations by pointing out that even if true, they don't change the fact that the relevant reports need to be completed and soon, or the county's ability to do its job will be destroyed. We've invited Paz Dominguez onto the show where we could dive further into her claims and discuss the need for proof. We'll bring you that interview if and when she accepts our invitation. That's all our time for this evening. Thanks for joining us. If you like this show and all the other great programming offered by KEET TV, consider becoming a member or raising your monthly gift. Stay tuned, stay informed.